All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Everyone doing good? Everyone's having a good day, surviving all these crazy monsoons that we've had today or whatever they are. Yeah, it's been crazy. Crazy, crazy. We haven't gone anywhere. We've just stayed inside. But, all right. So everybody got their handouts and no problems with that. Very good. Let's see. So yeah, you got the video. It's up on YouTube. I'm putting together, I decided to go ahead. This really looks messy, but I'll show it anyways. I decided to use the one from that I've always had for week 7. And then for next week, I'm working on a list off of the 100 most common words, and then words that I think, oh, maybe we should make sure we go over that one just as like beginner words. So I'll get that one completed and we'll get all that figured out for our last class. But it'll have like some more family words. There's a couple feeling words, not a whole lot. I think we went over most of them already. So, but I think so far I've got about 32 words, I think, and I'm not sure how many is on this list. I feel like I counted it, but I can't remember what it was, and I don't have it written down. So, but anyways, all right. Well, I know summer is supposed to come on, and other than that, I don't know if anyone else is coming on there on here. So I think I started last class without saying a prayer. I can't remember. But I was like, maybe I need to, yeah, we need to say a prayer with all the craziness we got going on, all the COVID and crazy election stuff and all that. So, all right. Well, let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to be here tonight and bringing us all together. And thank you for getting us through this weather. And we just pray that everyone is doing well and doesn't lose power. And please just help heal our land and heal all the people out there who are sick and keep us all from getting sick. Keep us all healthy and doing your work, and just listen to your will and your plan, and listen to the things that you're encouraging us to do. Just help us listen to those gentle nudges and the soft whispers that you guide us to do what you want us to do. And just we just lift all our wonderful things that happen in our life. We just lift them all up to you, Lord. And it's in your name we pray. Amen. All right, so we'll just jump right in. Does anybody have any questions? Anyone thought of anything over the past week or whatnot? Gosh, I got a serious glare of some sort on my glasses. Anyways, it looks like it says something on there like blue or something. It's really weird. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. So the first word we have is always. And I think, when I was doing these, I felt like some of them either we've gone over before or, but maybe we didn't have like the sign like on one of the papers or something like that. I feel like we've done that. So, if you want to point them out, that's fine. Or we can just go with them. And anyways, so we'll just jump right in. So always it's your number one finger, and you're just going to go around in a circle, and your circle is going to, just go around to the left of you. So it's just always. And I said in the video that you can really emphasize it by doing like it's always. Like if you're trying to tell your child, you're always complaining, you are always complaining, always. Or, well, I'm always a good person, just that kind of thing. But then there is like alone is just like a small little circle. So, which makes sense, always, you're alone, you're single, something like that is just a little circle. Anyways, all right. And then forever, even though it's not going in alphabetical order, I just put it there with it because it's the way that I learned it. It starts out with always, and then it goes into another sign with it. But then I've noticed there's another way to sign it. So it's probably one of those regional things. So for me, the way I learned forever was to do it in a circle of your always, and then you turn your hand and do a letter Y and push it forward. So it's like you're saying always and forever. You know, you could think about it that way, but this is just the way that I learned forever, was a circle and pushing it. So it's like what you're saying always happens and it goes on, you know, through eternity, forever, and that kind of thing. So that's how I had learned it. So always, and then push your why forward. And then, and I didn't put this on the video, and I of course don't have the sign in the sheet, but if they're saying like forevermore, so it's like even more than just forever, you can do like this, and then both of your whys go that way. So it's like it goes on in the future forever, and it's always happened in the past. So if you're talking about God's love lasts forevermore, you know, you push your right hand for a right-hander, you push your right hand forward, and then the left Y goes back. So forevermore. So I've always thought that's a real pretty one. But then, like I said, now I have seen a lot of other people doing forever a different way, where you're not really pointing to your head. I mean, you're not touching, is what I mean. You're not touching your forehead, but it's like you're coming off of your forehead, and then you do the Y, like going this way, like it goes forward, but it's not this way. Instead, it's sideways. So you're doing forever that way. Does that make sense? You know, so left-handers. So, I mean, that's not the way that I've learned, but like I said, I've seen it over the years. You know, a lot of people just doing forever like that. I kind of like the other one better, because to me, it just really nails it, really signifies it, really emphasizes that it shows truly what it means, that it's always, and it goes on and on. But like I said, I've seen a lot of deaf people just do here and then the Y. So either one there. I did not put that one on there, so I apologize for that. See, I feel like we've done ask. Anyways, or at least we've like gone over it or something. I don't know, maybe not. So, you know, you've got praying hands for like to pray. You know, you're saying a prayer, all of that. So with ask, I need to just stay standing up. You put your hands together and pull your hands forward. You're going to ask. It's almost like there's a person standing here and they're asking you a question, and so you're showing that what they're saying is coming to you. Ask. And it kind of, you know, it goes along with praying that you're asking God. So maybe that's why they created it that way. I'm really not sure. But yeah, so we've got ask. And then breakfast, I feel like we've gone over this one too, but now I can't remember. So I had learned breakfast once again with, you know, doing signing exact English, with trying to give the kids like a heads up of, this is the word we're saying, this will help you learn how to spell the word if I show you what letter comes first, that kind of thing. So we learned it with a B at the side of your chin, you know, just here, just tapping at breakfast. But every book I look in, except my signing exact English, has eat and then whatever time of day it is, so morning. So it has eat and morning with it. If I had to sign breakfast real quick, I'm probably going to do that real quick, just because that's what I remember. But I think that's what all my books are saying, is eat with morning for breakfast. So if you're doing it left-handed, you're going to use your left hand to do eat, and then the motion for morning is going to come up with the left hand. And then we've got be careful. So this is be careful and careful. I just put the B in there just so you would know it's for both of the words. Like if, you know, she was careful in the way she walked, or, oh, watch out and be careful where you step, that kind of thing. So you take your two Ks, and for a right-hander, you're going to put the left one on the bottom as your base. And that's typically the way it always is the left one usually is the base for whatever. And the right one comes on top, and you're just stacking them, and you're just tapping. And all you're doing is tapping that top one. Yep, you're just tapping that right one. And it makes it look like, you know, the left one's moving a little bit, but you're not like doing both of them. You're just doing the top one. Yep, so be careful. Be careful. I remember. I've also seen it like that. No, maybe that's caring. No. Oh, I've seen another one where it goes out like that. I'm trying to remember what it is. Anyway, so we're just going to go with be careful. Because I can't think what that is now. All right, and then we've got dinner. So dinner, same with breakfast. Breakfast we said was eat, and morning, or the B on the side of your chin. Dinner is with a D on the side of your chin. So you've got dinner. Or you would do eat and then the sign for night. Eat. And you can do night like that, or you can do night like that. Either one. Either one. If your hand is up, then it's more like afternoon. Whereas if your hand is like crested, kind of like the moon, I guess, then you've got night or night. Either one. It's kind of like, which one do you feel more comfortable doing? So you've got eat and night is dinner. It could also, and also supper, you know, and then you could do the S at the side of your chin if you wanted to do it that way, supper. And then so left-hander would do eat and then night, eat and night, or supper and dinner. Then we've got directions. So directions, you take your 2-letter D's and you're just, it's like, I described it on the video that it's almost like you remember the one kid on Home Alone where he was moving the puppets and moving all the stuff with the ropes, and he's moving them back and forth. That's what I always think of with directions, is you're alternating. One's going forward, one's going back, and then you switch. I wanted to say all that in the video, but I didn't. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, you know, Culkin, whatever his name is, Macaulay Culkin, you know, doing like this. I'm like, it's the same thing, but with D's. And but yeah, so direction. And that is, you know, which direction are you going? Can you tell me the directions? I think if there's another word with it, if there's another way, another synonym for direction that you would use, or another meaning, I mean. So no, I can't, that's all I can think of is tell me the directions and then which direction are you going in. It's the same sign, because sometimes there are different ones, and we get to that in some of these words. Then we've got doctor, and I thought we talked about, and maybe we've talked about doctor and we just didn't, you know, have it on the list yet. But your healthcare professionals are going to be things at your wrist, like they're taking your temperature and your pulse and everything. And so you're going to open your hand. I always double check, because I cannot remember if I do a fist or if I do an open hand. Because I do it so quick, you know, I'm guessing it's, I can't find doctor on there. There it is. Yes. So she has her hand open, and instead of it being up, it's like laying out, just like you would like lay your arm on the table, you know, and have it out for the doctor or nurse or whoever to check your pulse and everything. And then your right hand's going to do the D, and it's going to do it on here. And I was surprised that there wasn't another way to do doctor, because, you know, I really second guessed myself since I was taught signing exact English so much. I was like, oh gosh, maybe I'm doing that wrong. Maybe there is another way, like, I don't know what it would be, doctor or something, or doctor. I have no idea. So, but yes, it is with the D, and it's just tapped on there, doctor. And same for a left-hander. You know, you're putting your right hand out and you're tapping the D for doctor. And then for nurse, and I did not put nurse on here, but just know that it's the same thing except with an N. And you can do nurse, you know, yeah, nurse. You can either curve your fingers down and do nurse, or put them out and do nurse. Either one is right. I think I probably do it that way, nurse. But either way is right. All right, and then we've got done and finished. So I put those two together because they're the same sign. There's one thing you can do differently, but we'll get to that. So this is one a lot of little kids will be taught first when the parents are showing them some baby sign language. So you've got done, finished. So you're just taking your 2 number 5 hands and you're just flicking. It's like you've got something on your hands and you're flicking it off trying to say, okay, I don't need this anymore. I need this gone. I'm done. I'm finished. Help me here. I can't get the spaghetti off my fingers. You know, I'm done. I'm finished. So yeah, so done, finished. And you just have to do it the one time, finished. Or you can do it a couple times. Either one is right. And then I was going to say, you can also do like, what have you done? So you wouldn't, in that sense, you wouldn't do this way. You would do like, what have you done? Like do. You remember we've talked about using do in the right way, like do like an activity versus do you want something, then you spell it. So in that sense, you know, what have you done today? You're going to use your sign for done, or for do, I'm sorry, for do. So it just all depends on, and that's where sign language can get a little tricky. You know, you can sit here and do all these signs, but then you got to think about what the word is, how the word is being used in the sentence that it's being used in. You can't just throw the word out there that you know, because you have to think, now is that what that is being used as? You know, so if I were to say, you know, what have you done today, might not really portray the same concept of what you're saying. But I mean, if you put the word in that sentence, if you put the word finished in that sentence and you take the word done out of there, what have you finished today? You know, I mean, it is kind of synonymous. So you could use it. It's not like all is lost. It's not like if you say, well, when we get to like left, you know, what have you left? And you use the direction left instead, where someone's going to go, what? What do you mean? You know, just be a confusing thought. But it would be understood. It's just a little confusing for the moment. So anyway, so done, finished, done, as far as what did you do? What activity have you done? I'm trying to think if there's any other way. She's done with her homework. She's finished. I'm trying to think if there's any other way I can think of how to use done. And that's all I come up with. So, all right. So then we've got every day, and I feel like we've done every day, but I think it was one we just kind of threw out there. So you've got day, and for someone who doesn't know the sign for every day, they might want to use every and then put day, but it's not. There is a sign every day. And it's kind of weird. It's like, well, why would that be the sign for every day? What does this have? This is like girl and all of your girl stuff that happens here. So I'm like, what does that have to do with every day? So that one I've got no clue. But you're just taking your A hand with your thumb out and you're just going, and you don't necessarily have to hit your cheek. You can go off of your cheek and do every day, and it's just going forward is all it's doing. And you just do it a couple or a few times every day, at least 2 times. I mean, I wouldn't do just one, because then it's so close to being girl, you know, that every day it shows like repetition. So it shows that it's happening more than once. So, but yeah, that one, like I said, why they came up with that one, I have no clue. And then fine, and you know, fine, there's a synonym that goes with that one, and that's fancy. So you can be like, I'm fine, is when you're talking about how you're feeling, or you can say, oh, that's so fine. Like, oh, that's a fancy dress, or, oh, that's a fine man. You know, it's a fancy, you know, oh, he's just, wow. Which I guess maybe maybe you wouldn't use fancy. I guess old school would. But anyways, so I learned fine just to take your number 5 hand and put your thumb on your chest and do fine. But now the different sign books that I've looked at have done where you pull it off. To me, that's almost like you're being cocky. Fine, is how I take it. But it's even in the book that I learned from my original book that has it coming out. And I was like, oh, wow, I don't remember that. I just remember fine being here, but they show it coming out. So either one will be fine. But then fancy, if something is, oh, wow, that's really fine. You're taking and you're going and you're hitting your chest and don't feel like, I feel like I got a red spot there from hitting myself, but it doesn't have to, you don't actually have to hit. You can just gently touch and you're just kind of going around in a circle. And the reason for that one is because long ago, people would wear those fancy shirts with all the ruffles. We're talking back in like the 20s and the 1800s, wherever, they'd wear those ruffly shirts with their coat and the ruffles would all stick out. So it was like a fancy shirt. And I think that's why that's the sign for fancy versus fine. And I apologize, I didn't put that one on there. It's just one that every now and then comes up for discussion. And I don't know that I've really used fancy a whole lot in the different times, that I've signed, that I've interpreted or been in the classroom. But anyways, it's maybe not one of those words that people use a lot. And then we've got eat, and on here there's different synonyms. There's eat, consume, dine, food, and meal. So all of those have the same sign for just eat. Eat, food, fine, meal, all of them. And like I said, I feel like we've done like that. Should have been like one of the ones in week 2, but I guess not. And then we've got go. So there's 2 different ways you can do go. You do go, and I do it more off of my, you go off more your shoulder like you're gonna go. So it's just 2 number 1 hands here at your shoulder and you just go. Or you can do go like round and circle, like the person is like going, almost like the tire is going. But so either one is right. And yes, then the circle is going out away from you. So it's going forward, go, or go. I use this one more of go instead of this one. I guess because it just feels weird to do it, but either one, is right. So then we've got happen when something happens. And there's other ways that I use this. Oh, I'm trying to think. Anyways, let me show you the sign and I'll get thinking about it. But what you're doing is you're making, there again, your number 1s, and you're going to turn them so that your palms are facing up, and you're simply going to flip them over. So happen. What happened? What happened? But I'll use this even for things when there's, all these different words that a person will say, and they're saying like it occurred, it happened. It's the same thing. There's not a sign for occurred that I know of. And like we did the song Evidence by Josh Baldwin. We did that song this past Sunday at church. And he says something about, I see the evidence from where I'm standing. And so instead of me doing where I'm standing and I can see it, because I was like, that's really not what he's saying. He's not saying he's standing here and he's looking. I try to portray what they're meaning when they're, because that's just more ASL instead of telling exactly word for word what's being said. So I did from what's happened, like up until now. So, there's all different ways that you can use the word happened. If it's a synonym, even if it's like many words put together and their meaning happen, you can just simply do happen. Even though you might be saying like 3 other words, you can just fall to that one. So, and then we have hospital. So hospital, you remember way back when, it seems like either doctors or EMS workers or something would have a patch that would have a cross here. So it's the same thing. You do your letter H and you take your fingertips and it goes down So your fingertip, it's almost like you're giving yourself a shot in the arm, like you're poking yourself. So you go here and then you come across. So you're going down and then across. And if you go with this way, that's fine too. Either way. I'm used to going, it almost like doesn't hurt your wrist, but you can feel like a little bit of a strain there, you know, when you're trying to poke yourself. So, you know, if you're more comfortable doing it, just laying your fingers, your H fingers on there, then you can do that too. Either one, the point will be understood that you're saying hospital. Hospital, so we got hospital and doctor and nurse. All right, then we come up to hurt and pain. And I put the two of them together just so you could see the two signs, so you can see how they're a little bit different. I mean, if you do one sign for one word and you're like, if you say pain instead of hurt, you know, it all is not lost. It'll be understood. So, but I try to, how I understand it and remember it is that if like something that is painful is worse than it just hurting. Something just hurts, it just hurts. You know, you're just pushing your two fingers towards each other. And the neat thing is you can, and see, I feel like we've done this one, but I think it's because I've taught this lesson so many times. So you can say that your head hurts, and that's the neat thing about sign language. You can kind of move it around. Instead of you saying, my head hurts, you can just go, my head hurts. Or if your chest hurts, or your arm hurts, that one's a little bit harder. You'd have to do hurt and then probably arm, because it's not like you can go, unless it's right here, you know, if your shoulder hurts, and then if your knee hurts, you know, you can go all the way down to your foot hurts, and it just keeps you from having to do my foot hurts. You can just go hurts like that. You know, it's not as, you don't have to do as much. All right, but then pain, you're actually like twisting your hands. So you've got hurt versus pain, and it doesn't really, I start my left hand going this way, and my right hand starts like that. But yeah, so you're just twisting. You know, and it seems like my left one doesn't do very much twisting. My right one does more. And I guess it's because, exactly. It's like you're so used to always moving the right one all the time that the left one kind of just goes, duh, I don't know what to do anymore. So, but yes, hurt. So, and you can really, oh, it really hurts. You know, you can really get into telling how bad it hurts by just really emphasizing it. So that's why those are two side by side, so you can see the difference with them. And I don't know why. Be careful. Oh, I guess because it's just careful. But that's not in alphabetical order. That's really weird. I bet you I put it down there because it's with K's, and I probably totally was not thinking that it's a word that starts with the letter C instead of a K, because you're doing it with K's, which it's like, you don't spell it with a K. But if you do it this way with C's, this is the way I learned a car. And I've done that to someone before, and they're like, that's not the sign for car. This is a sign for car, like you're driving, like just car. I'm sorry, not going this way because that's drive. But just holding your hands like at the steering wheel. I'm like, well, I learned car. So I guess they couldn't do it that way because maybe that was the sign they used way back when. I don't know. Who knows? But anywho. All right, so what do we have next? Okay, so here's the fun ones. This is, I loved teaching this one the last time I had an in-person class because I got someone so confused. They were like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do now. I'm like, all right, you got to really think, which kind of left are you saying? So are you saying your direction, or that you've left the building, or that, you know, I mean, there's just all different, you know, I left something sitting there. There's just different ways to do it. So the simplest one is your direction. And that's just, you take your letter L and you just go to the left. So left. And it doesn't have to be like from one shoulder to the other. It can just be a little one. You know, you need to go left. Or do you write with your left hand? or it's on the left. It's on the left side of the room, left. And then the strange thing to me, though, is I'm guessing, and I mentioned this in the video, that for a person who's left-handed, I guess they go that way, which is left. I guess they wouldn't go this way because that would be to the right. But I was like, you know, I have a really good friend who learned using her left hand because she's a lefty. But I mean, I'm a lefty and I do it with my right hand. I'm just all confused. But I've never asked her, which way do you do left? I feel like this is right for some reason, even though it's not. I feel like that's the right, all right, you know, going in the right direction instead. I'm all confused. But anyways, left, and I would assume left is what I would assume. But then if you are turning left, you could say all of those words, like, you know, at the end of the street, you're going to turn. You could do it that way and then do left, or you can just say that you're going to turn left. I feel like there's a glare on the wall over there. You're turning left. Yeah. So you could do it this way, and that would tell them too that you're going to turn left. Unless they're confused, because when you have the person sitting here, I've seen this with kids, that's why I think about it all the time, and you go this way, they're thinking that it's actually that way because of the way they're facing you. You know, it looks kind of opposite. So, you know, so it would be nice, I guess, to put the L in there just to show for sure you understood I'm saying that you're going to turn left. Not to be confused with like your turn, you know, so there's different ways to do, you know, if you're talking about turning as far as directions versus it's your turn to talk, it's your turn to speak, it's your turn in the game, your turn. All right, so then we have, if you've left something, like I am all the time leaving my cup sitting in places. So if you left it, you're taking your number 5 hands and turning them this way with them, your fingertips pointing outward, and you're just going to say left, which really makes sense. You know, it's like you've taken something, you've sat it there, you know, you put it there, and then you walked away. So you left it there. Our pastor is really good at losing his keys and his cell phone. And he's gotten all kinds of interesting pictures put on his phone because he would just leave it sitting somewhere and everyone knew it was his. So they just pick it up and take a picture and they'd leave it for him to, you know, ha, left a picture on your phone because you left it sitting there. So left, I always think about Chris with the word left because bless his heart, he's like, has anyone seen my keys for the 100th time today? You know, so poor thing, left. Versus if you leave the room, you have left the room. All right, so the way I do it is I start my hands out kind of like a claw and go left. I've left the room, you need to leave. But now how they show it, I noticed was different. Like they have their hands just like together, number 5 hands, and kind of almost like, you remember the lady on the Palmolive commercial and she would put her hands out and then she'd put them in kind of like that kind of shape. Gosh, I'm going back. And so you start this way and then pull your hands closed to like a letter A. So you're starting here and going out. Yeah. But like I said, I've done like leave. Like it's like you're actually grabbing something and leaving. Like you're physically showing that you don't like this person being here. I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to make you leave, you know, leave. So, anyway, so there's those 3 different things, you know, I have left the room, but I left my cup there on the left side of the room, you know, so you've got all those different lefts that you can do. So you got to just stop and think which version of the word are they using? Which synonym, which definition, whatnot are they using? So there's several out there that are like that. It's kind of neat, or at least I think it is. All right, and then we have look. So, you know, you see people doing this all the time, like oh, I'm watching you, which that is actually the sign for watching you, because it's like your eyeballs are here on the end of your number 2 hands. So you're going to look at them and then you're going to watch them. And you can really emphasize it and put, 2 up, like I'm watching you or I'm looking at you. I'm looking. Either one, both are right with just 1 or with 2. Just depends on how much emphasis you want to put there or whatnot. Or if you're just going and you just whoop and you just do look, it's fine to use both hands. And then we've got lunch. So lunch here again, just like we have breakfast and dinner or breakfast and dinner, you can do lunch with an L on off the side on your chin. I think that might be the sign for sour now, but anyways, it just kind of popped in my head. I was trying to remember if that was sour or if it's, yeah, because that's disappointed. I'm pretty sure it's like that for sour. Anyways, that means it has nothing to do with lunch. And then you can also do your eat and at noon, which to me, that just feels so weird to do that. Because I feel like I'm like some little, like walk like an Egyptian type, I'm going to start doing some crazy stuff with my hand. I just feel really weird doing noon like that. And then midnight, I just feel really weird doing those. But anyways, what are you going to do? So lunch or lunch, either one is right, even though to me it feels weird. But who am I, so then we've got, I can't see what that says. Then we've got maybe. You can see the little fella there in the picture. So he's simply, it's almost like you've got 2 things in your hands and you're weighing them, so you're like, do I want to do this one thing I need to do, or do I want to do that? Well, maybe, so maybe, just maybe. And, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It's just 2 little maybe, like maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. And then we've got meet. So this is the meet, like 2 people are going to meet. So yep. So you got your number 1s. We're doing a lot of things with the number 1s tonight. Yeah. So meet, and you can directionalize that one as well. Like you might have a person over here and he's going to come and meet you. Or like I'll do a lot of things like I put God over here on this side and, he's going to meet. He's always met me, everywhere. Or someone can come here and meet. So it doesn't have to be this way. You can, if you want to put like where the person was at, all of them are right. You're just showing the direction of where they were at. He came to meet me from over there, meet. And then you don't have to do that all over there or, on the street corner or something like that. You just came over and met me over there. Then we've got need and must, and I put them side by side as well, because must is one of those things that like you've got to do it, like you have to do it. It's not like a it's not an option. It has to be done. Must, almost like a want versus a need. Like it's like it has to be done. But need has 2. So they're both with the letter X, but one is must, and then doing it a couple times is need. It's almost like, well, you don't really need to do that. Instead of you saying, like, I want this for Christmas, but I need, food. So which one am I gonna do? Am I gonna buy all these presents, or am I gonna purchase food? So even though you need it, you're not doing it this way. With that one, you would probably do, it's a need. It's a need. It's like a must have. And you don't have to go up really high, it can just be 1. So, and then you can put as much emphasis on it as you want with that one as well. So yeah, so must versus need. Excuse me. And then you've got never. And I feel like I know we've talked about never before. There's 2 different ways. How I do never is I do it like this, like it's almost like you're smearing paint on a window, never. And it's like you're making a question mark. But the books, what I see is they use the side of their hand and you're doing it this way, never. And you're not really doing so much the arc of the question mark. It's just like a little squiggly line. That's really neat how that looks with, because on the computer it's like slowing things down so it looks like, woo. That's pretty neat. Anyway, so yeah, so never. And you can make that, really emphatic. You can just do like never, and really pull that hand down, just never. Or you just go, I'm never going to do that. Or you're never going with that person ever again. You can really emphasize it, just like your no, or your pay attention, and things like that, which actually I think pay attention is on here. Yeah, actually that's the next one. So pay attention is 2 closed 5s, and you're just doing pay attention, which really makes sense. If you think about, I think about Jake, who in like 1st grade and 2nd grade, someone would come in the classroom and he's just like, he was supposed to be doing his work, and all of a sudden he looks up and he's totally lost in what he was supposed to be doing. And he's just watching the person walk through the classroom. And so the teacher would say, pay attention. In other words, focus here, and look here at what you're supposed to be doing, instead of just kind of wandering off and having your own little thought.
It also reminds me of the horses that have the blinders.
Yes, you're right.
So they don't look at anything else.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. I hadn't really thought about that, right? I may have said something about that on the video last night, now that you mentioned that one. So you're not seeing anything out here, you're just looking here. So you've got pay attention, and then you've got focus, which is similar to it. You're just kind of focusing on, focus on what it is you're doing right here. So yeah, focus and pay attention, and it's all in that same thing, like you're saying with the horses. That's a really good one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that one, you can get really emphatic too, like pay attention. You can just, or you just do pay attention. Pay attention, please. How many more times do I need to say it? Because if I have to say it again, it's going to get up. So, all right, then you've got remember. And remember is, trying to remember. I guess I just do it like that. So it is an A hand. I feel like my hand's more squished than just a regular A though. And so you've got your A as your base down here, your left one. And your right one comes up here and touches your forehead, or near your forehead. Don't feel like you actually have to touch the skin and make yourself all kind of red spots everywhere. And then you're just putting it down here. It's like you're taking something out of your mind and you're putting it here, almost like you're making a sticky note, or you're posting it on something, and so that you can remember. I'm going to put it right here so I don't forget, and I'm going to remember. Yeah. So remember. And then if you were a lefty, you just do the opposite, remember. But yeah, remember. I think, I've seen some people like almost like taking their A hand and putting it up here too, and just tapping. I've seen that as well for remember. And then remind, you're taking that have hand and you're just tapping yourself. It's almost like your husband's going, remember that you need to do this, so you're reminding yourself, remind versus remember. How are you doing there, cutie pie?
Good.
Doing good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Being remote today? Not remote today?
Wait, what?
You went, yeah, he went in today.
Oh.
He went in today. Oh, so he had to brave the rain and all the storms and, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
I bet.
It was really bad this morning.
Right. I mean, people have said they were really surprised that school didn't just get canceled, or just go, because we've got that option, just everyone go remote. That's really what they should have done. And seeing that's why it's so hard. The superintendent will make that decision, and then people are like, well, it's not so bad over here. It's like, you don't know how it is in this area of Davidson County,
Yep.
So.
I know. Any which way they do it, though, they get crucified for it. So.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They do. There was a person. What?
Were you a teacher?
I used to be a teacher, yes. Can you tell somehow? Oh, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, I used to teach preschool deaf children. I've taught elementary deaf children and middle school age deaf children. I've not done high school, but I interpreted for a high school student, a couple different high school students, and that was fun. But yeah, I miss it.
What school were you in?
When I was interpreting, that's the only time I was subbing is when it was here in the county. I have been over at, the program used to be at Wahlberg for kids who were learning to speak, or using like a cochlear implant. They were at Wahlberg Elementary. The ones who were signing were at Welcome Elementary, and I think that's where they have it still now. The middle school, I was at North Davidson Middle, but I was at Brown before as well. And then North Davidson High School is where I was at. But then I've also been at East. It just depends on where the student was. But then preschool, I taught in Charlotte. And that was with the School for the Deaf out of Morganton. They had what they call a satellite program for preschoolers in that area who needed assistance. So I worked in that program for about 3 years. And I was in Raleigh teaching middle school, and I was in Charleston teaching elementary. So you go wherever the job is to start, and then you start to get a little more picky and pickier about what you want to do.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, but that's been.
I have a sister that's in. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I have a sister who's in special needs.
Oh.
And yeah, and she went through Fairgrove to Brown and then into East Davidson.
Okay.
And she might have been in some classes that had kids that had the disabilities.
Could have been. The one that I was subbing for, he was in the mainstream, and he would just get, it was just the interpreter was with him. He's about 25, 28 now, something like that. Gosh, that really makes me feel old. But he was totally in the mainstream, and his interpreter would work once he got to middle school. She was, well, even in fourth grade. Yeah, anyways, it doesn't matter. But around middle school, he used to be at Wahlberg, and then he went to Brown because he wanted to be back at his home school. And the interpreter would pull him out, and she would, help him in his classes that he needed help with. So whenever I went, I would maybe interpret a class for him, and then we would maybe leave the classroom and go into a small room just to kind of go over what it was the teacher was teaching, so that he, could ask questions and make sure he understood, and we could practice stuff, when the kids were just working on homework and stuff like that. Or sometimes I would go and I was simply taking notes for him, just so he could pay attention and watch the teacher's lips and everything, because he got to the point that he didn't need the signing as much. His hearing aids were better, and he had learned, how to use them a little more. Now he has cochlear implants though. So that's when I really, he's got them on both sides. He says it's wild. He says, I hear stuff. And I'm like, what was that? And his wife's like, someone just flushed the toilet. Oh, really? Wow. So it's amazing the things that, you don't know if you've never heard it, but and that was something that I did with the preschoolers, because they would have implants, and we'd have to go around and say, okay, turn that way. All right, listen. And I'd turn the water on, turn the water off. What did you hear? And they're like, I don't know, that sounded weird. And then you show them what you're doing. And so that was just a way of teaching them what they were hearing so they could figure it out, because the way it sounds is not how we hear it, because it's going through a computer. It's electronic. So it's totally different sounding. And he said he walked around his house for the longest time. One time he was like, what is that sound? What is that sound? And it was the water dripping from the faucet. I was like, wow, that's like, I can't hear that if I'm at the other end of my house. And he's like, oh no, I can, and his house was about my size. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But they were just, that good. So, but yes, but no, I have not taught in like 21 years, because Kyle just turned 21. So, I've done a lot of other stuff, but just not in the classroom all the time. So,
Mom, to give me some strawberry and sugar.
Some strawberry what?
Strawberries and sugar.
He likes to put sugar on.
Oh, yeah. I used to do that for Jake when he would go to school. I'd make him a little cup, and I'd put the cut up strawberries in there and sprinkle some sugar and stir it around and close the lid. And yeah.
That's like,
oh, yeah. Do you put a little bit of Cool Whip on top, or a little bit of that stuff? No? Yep. Very good. That
And
sounds
that just, he goes and puts that right directly in his mouth.
Oh,
It goes right.
yeah, just
Doesn't want anything else.
absolutely, absolutely. That's hard to find.
I like it.
It's hard to find strawberries right now. Yeah.
And we found at Aldi's, so I thought
Oh,
it'd be,
okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need
And
to
then
go
we
get
only
some.
have one pack.
yeah, done one pack.
Very good, very good. Well, you enjoy those. Will be yummy. Yep. Wash them off good. Take your tops off and all that kind of stuff. I'll plucking all those things off.
Well, I don't eat the tops, but I give it to my dogs. And they like it.
Really? You know, our dog, we have a Maltipoo. She used to eat strawberries and she doesn't eat them anymore. I don't know why. Anyways, well, very good.
Ours, I must eat about everything.
Yeah, yeah, that's Rosie.
If
She
you
won't,
let me.
she won't eat lettuce and bananas anymore, but
Yeah, no.
Our dog Madison eats chicken poop. She says
Yeah, you
it's
have to be careful.
oh, now my parents have horses. And so we used to have two big dogs that were like lab mixes, and Rosie is the same way. If you go over there, she will start eating the horse poop because it has, from what they've eaten, you can smell like the molasses and the sweetness. And yeah, it's like, oh girl, we'll get away from that. So, you know, yeah, be the same way with chickens. Oh, no, don't eat that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Well, enjoy your strawberries. Those yummy, tasty treat. Sounds good. Sounds good. Trying to see, where did we leave off? Oh, so we were at right. Bye. Good talking to you. So we just like left, right has to be the same way. So you've got right, you know, where you're just going to the right. Yep. And like I said, it doesn't have to be like a big dramatic thing. It can just go a little bit. Whereas right, if something is correct and something is right, instead of using your K's, you're just using number ones and you're doing right. Like that is correct. That is right. You're right. Versus if you're all right, there, that's different. But if you say, you know, yeah, I'm right about that, or okay, that's right, then it's this way. And then we have sign language, and I feel like we've done that one before, but I didn't give the picture of it. So it's your number one hands again, and it's, you're pulling them towards yourself. So yeah, go the other way. Go pull your hands toward you. There you go. Yep. So I don't know if it makes a difference if you go that way or the other. I mean, this isn't another sign, but yeah, if you're just saying I'm signing, or not, now this is not like what is the sign like out on the street, or what is that sign, you know, what is she showing you, or I don't even know what's your sign, like Virgo, Aquarius, that kind of thing. I don't know what that is actually, but that's not the same. This is simply for sign language. And if you want to do sign language, you do your sign and then you take L's, and it doesn't show this in the picture, and you kind of flicker, like it's almost like you're flipping them. Yeah, so sign and language. So this is the sign for language, like, you know, you're learning the English language, you're learning the Spanish language. So yeah, so language. So sign language. And you don't have to do your sign a lot. You just do it once and then go out with your L's. And it doesn't even have to go like that. It's like it's almost like you're making a bow. You know, you're just going around and pulling it out, around and then shoot. So you can do it that way as well. And then slow, yep. So then slow, you've got your arm out for a base, and you don't have to put it all the way out. I guess you could just put it here, resting at your hip, and your other hand is a closed 5, and you're simply pulling. It's almost like you're pulling on a glove that's stuck, you know, and you're doing it slow. So slow, and that's for if the music is slow, the person is walking slow, the car is slow, the traffic is slow, you know, anything slow is just like that. So slow, if you're telling someone who's signing to you, whoa, I need you to slow down, it's the same thing. Slow down, slow down, slow down. I'm just learning, or I just know a little bit, just tell them to slow down. And then we've got sorry. So sorry is your S in the circle. So we had please before. So your hand is going towards your left shoulder. And it's the same thing with your sorry. You've got your S going towards your shoulder. And it's just a little small circle. You can go, oh, I'm so sorry. So you could make it a little bit bigger if you want. But if you're just saying, I'm sorry, it's just a little one. And then we've got stop. And there again, I know we've gone over stop, so you've got your hand as your base is going to catch the other hand. Hey, Summer. And you've got your hand with your thumb out, and you're just doing stop. Stop. And it can be stop, or it can be like stop, like you really are telling a person, they're really aggravating you to stop. And, if you're in a classroom setting, or you're in a setting where you don't want other people to hear your hands smacking and this and that kind of stuff, you want to really be careful. You can be emphatic and it not hit your hands. I don't know if you can hear, it hitting. It can just be like, and where you're just doing it, but you're not actually hitting your hand. So stop. Then we've got tired, and that's like your hand, like your hands are like have, and they roll down. Tired. And there again, I know we've gone over this one because I remember showing tired and like, oh, I'm so tired. It may have been from those sentences from week 5. I bet that's where a lot of these words were. And I was showing you can spell them, or like this is the sign for tired. I bet that might be where a lot of these fell into a lesson. But now at least you have the sign that shows you tired on the paper. That's interesting how he shows it. He does here, and it's like he goes almost completely down to like the how, like how your how ends. He goes completely down. I wouldn't. I would just tired. Just tired. Let it just end right there at your chest. Just tired. But I guess if you're completely exhausted, but see, then I would put my body into it like, oh, so tired is what I would do. And then we've got understand. Push that back up a little bit more. There we go. So understand, you're just taking your number 11 hand. Y'all remember our numbers. And you're just flicking it up here at, let me get closer, you can't really see that. And you're just doing it at your, like near the side of your head. You understand. I understand. Or I don't understand. So both of them are the same. It's understand and don't understand. So you don't have to do don't or not, and then with understand, you can just shake your head and do I don't understand. And I did not write that on there. I don't think. And I was trying to think if it was on here, but it's not. So yeah, so just understand, you're nodding, I understand. It typically comes with it anyways. Your head's like automatically going to do I understand. It just feels like it's our natural gesture. Whereas, I don't understand. And you're going to make that face to kind of show that I don't understand what in the world you're talking about. And then we've got wait. Wait, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can either like, you're taking your left hand and putting it up. And then the other hand, it's almost like you're going to catch something here, So, and then you just flicker your fingers. So you can either do it wait like this. I tend to do wait where my hands are just moving in the same motion. So it's like my hands are going up to the left and coming down, up and around. And then, yep, so you're going to go up this way and then come back down. Yeah, and you're doing wait. And that's almost like, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. When is this going to happen? But either one is right. So if you just want to do wait, it just depends. Like if I'm just interpreting, the sermon, I'm just going to do wait. But if I'm doing a song, I tend to put a little more motion into it. So either one is correct though, wait and wait. And I think the picture is the little man. Yeah, see, he's just doing like wait. Yep. And then we've got water. So water is your W. Here again at the side of your chin. Yep, and water. Yep, water. And then we said like wine is your W at your chin and at your jawbone. I was trying to think of the bone there, and it just goes around. So not to be confused, water and wine. So, and then we've got what's up. And I realized last night that I didn't put the sign on the picture or on our handouts. It doesn't have the sign for what's up. I was like, oh no, or at least it's not on mine. So I don't know why I didn't put that on there. So, I'm going to circle that one. And I'll add it to next week's just so it's on there. But what's up is you take your 25 hands and you're going to point them down, and then you're just going to flick them up. So like, what's up? If you're asking someone, what's up? What's going on? They've got that expression in like Spanish, and I'm sure all the other languages, someone just says, what's up, like ¿Qué tal? Or something like that, I think is the what's up in Spanish. So yeah, so what's up or what's going on, what's happening. You could do your sign what and then happen, but this is the same kind of thing. What's up, what's happening, what's going on in your life. All of that is the same thing. And then we've got with. With is 2A hands with your thumbs pointing up. With just, I don't mean to say like thumbs up, but like the back of your thumb is facing upwards towards the ceiling, and it's with, yep, with. So like, like, will you come with me? I should have put come with go. Why didn't I do come with that one? That's really weird. That would have made sense, because you've got summer we went over go, is just taking your 2 number 1 hands and saying go, and come is just the opposite. So you're having your fingers, your palms are pointing up towards the ceiling, and you're just doing come. And there again, just like we said, you go, you can do go this way as well. You can do come, coming back, just like with signing, you do come. So I feel like I just threw a lot at you. So you've got go, or you can do go, and your hands are going out away from you. Yep, go. Whereas come, you're bringing them towards you, or you're bringing your hands towards you instead of going the other way. Does that make sense? And not to be confused where we were going over sign language. There your ones are kind of pointing out. Your palms are pointing out versus them going this way. Come. I would personally, I just do go and come just because it's quicker. So you're not having to do all this crazy motion and trying to think which way do I need my hands to go. I can just shoot, and then you're done. So that's what I do in that situation. But I apologize. I didn't think about putting come in there. I think I've got it on there for next week, which doesn't make sense. But anyways, so we've got with. Oh, so I was saying, will you come with me? So will you come with me? Just with me. And then we've got work. So work is 2 S's. And if you're right-handed, your left hand is your base. And so the top one is going to hit the other one. So work. And then if you flip your hand around, then you've got a stone, like a rock, stone type thing. Stone versus work. Yeah. Oh, it goes. All right, and then we've got right. So we just talked about like going right, or your right direction, your right turn, right versus right and you're correct. And then we've got that you're going to write something down. So this is like your piece of paper that you have, and you're holding your hand like you're holding a pen or a pencil, and you're just going straight across. You're going to write. So, so yeah, right, right, right. And then we had left, left, and left. Yeah. So someone's like, what? So we did left, like when you're telling someone that you're left-handed or something is on the left side, it's left. But if you've left something in a room, you've left it. You've left it there, or, you left the dog outside. You left it out there. But if you're actually going to leave a room, I left the building, I left the house, you're going to do left. Left, yep. And it's going to start at your left side and go over to your right. But you know what? It's one of those directional things. If you're talking that you were on this side of the room and you walked out that way, then you just go with whichever way the direction is. So yeah, so either one is correct. So there's no wrong one there. And then, oh, that's funny. And then the last one we have is wrong. So you've got the letter Y and you just hit your chin. Wrong. And I told the video, I was talking on the video last night. So they've got wrong, error, fault, and mistake. I had learned that just one tap meant wrong. Like you're just so wrong on that. And then I had learned mistake was a couple taps, mistake. Almost like this is one syllable, wrong, mistake is 2 syllables. And then I have learned that this is a sign for regret. So you've got wrong, mistake, and regret is you're just rolling it across the chin. And you feel, oh, I feel so bad. I regret that I did that. I regret that I said that. I was wrong, made a mistake, and I regret it. So it's all right there in that same area. So I can't believe we got through all of those already. So, and we even chatted some with Amber's son. So do you have any questions?
I'm sorry I came on late.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I'll put the video up and either you can watch this one or I sent the YouTube link, so you can just click on that and go right to the video that just simply goes through all the words. So you can do it that way as well. And I pretty much told everything that we discussed tonight. I did the same thing on the video that I made last night. So either way, this one, might go a little bit longer. That one, I want to say it took me 35 minutes just in all the different little explanations I said, and oh, this is the synonym for those words and that kind of stuff. So you'll definitely get through that one quicker than this one if that helps at all. But then if you guys want, we can go over the sentences if you want, or we can just end class, whichever one y'all want to do. What you think?
I would like to do some of the sentences.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I can't remember. It seems like in weeks past, it's taken us the whole hour and a half to get through all the words, probably because I've probably ran my mouth too much. And but yeah, that'll be good. All right. So the first one I wrote down was be careful and pay attention when you go home. So if you remember, we did be careful. Be careful. So Summer, all you're doing is doing your K's and you're tapping them on top of each other, like right here at this part of your hand. And it really, yeah. I was trying to think if it would matter if you did it, if like you hit them in a different spot, but yeah, so just be careful. So be careful and pay attention. So y'all remember and good, and then pay attention. Yeah, so pay attention is one we learned tonight. And I think we talked about it last week or one of the other weeks. And all you're doing is pay attention. So be careful and pay attention when, you remember when? Well, it was one from a few weeks ago. Yep. You almost got it there. Yep. So you got your number one hand and you go around it with the other number one hand. Now, if you go around this way, like what you're doing, that's about, like I'm about to go, or this song is, he's talking about blah, 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 about. Now, if you say this is about to happen, I would do probably like it's estimated, it's almost, it's close to happening. So about. And see, that's one of those words we were talking somewhere about. You can't necessarily take a word that you know and just say, okay, well, this is going to be the word for every time I hear the word about, I'm going to use that, because that's really not always necessarily true. Some words are like that, but some words are not like that. You have to figure out what it is the speaker's saying and use the correct sign that goes with the meaning of it, instead of using the sign that goes with that word. Does that make sense? I feel like I've just kind of totally crazied myself there. But about is a good one. If you're talking about something, then it's this way. But if you're saying it's about 8:30, then you're just going to kind of do your hand around in a circle, like approximately. Okay, so be careful and pay attention when you go home. So be careful and pay attention. And then we said when, and then how would we do when you go home? When you, yeah, and you can do you, or you can, that's one of those words you can even leave out because it's kind of an obvious if you're talking to the person. When you go, and you can even leave the word when out. When you go, and then y'all remember home? There you've got like house. That's right. And then, but you've got home. So you've got your hand in that shape. Yeah, and you put it here like it's where you eat and sleep. So it's home. Someone must be talking about me because my nose is like so itchy. That's what I've heard anyways. Your nose gets itchy, so I'm talking about you. All right. So do you guys want to do that one just all in running, or do y'all just want to move to the next one? Okay. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. So be careful and pay attention when you go home. So be careful and pay attention when you go home. Now, like I said, you could leave stuff out. You could just say, be careful, pay attention, go home. You could say that. I probably would throw something else in there, like be careful and pay attention when you go home. Or I might throw the when in there just to kind of, so it's not like you're saying, be careful, pay attention, now go home. You know what I mean? Because it could get misconstrued to be that instead. So sometimes you can leave the words out, and sometimes it's like, well, maybe I should put another word in there. All right, so I got a little wacky on these when I was making these a couple years ago. So look left twice if you are tired because you were working. So look left. So do you remember look? We just went over look. So look left. So which left are we talking about? Yep, direction left. And do you remember twice from our numbers last week? So twice. Yeah, it's like you flick them up twice. Yeah, I think I was like twice, second. Yeah, twice. Twice. If you are tired, I don't think we went over like if. You can do if this way, you can do if this way, or you can simply spell it if. Yeah. If you, and you can do your R if you want. If you feel more comfortable putting all your words in there, you can do your R. If you are tired, we just went over tired tonight. So you remember we got tired. If you are tired, because, I think we did because last week. No, Did we go over
Don't know.
because? I think we skipped that one today. I think I went straight from breakfast to be careful. I don't think I did because. Yep. So you're just taking your, I don't know which hand shape, finger out, thumb up, and you're just going across your forehead because. And you're just closing, pulling that index finger closed because, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just jumped right to the next word and just totally missed that one. So because you were working. So you, and you can do your were, your W to your R, or you can do past were if you want, or you just totally leave it out and don't say it at all because you were working. So do you remember how to do work? Yep, work. Yep. So, all right, so let's go back and do the whole thing then, all in one swoop. So look left twice if you are tired because you are working. Woo. So look left twice. You can do if you are tired because, yep, then you got your because you were working. Now you could even simplify, I feel like we're doing math here. You could even simplify that look left twice. You can even make that shorter and just do look left, and you're actually you're making your eyes go to the left. Look left twice, do that. Look left twice if you are tired because you are working. You can, so you can simplify that one. And then what is wrong with you? Do you need a doctor to go to the hospital or go to the hospital? So what is wrong with you? So what, yep, what? And you can do your is or you can leave it out, yep, with your eye, yep, is.
Put the finger up.
Yep, see that is, yep. Okay. Or like I said, or you can leave it out. You can simply do what wrong. And it feels funny to do it, but it's one of those words that isn't going to make a difference if you say it or not. And even with what, what you can even leave it out and say wrong you, you could, but if you might feel more comfortable saying what is wrong. And then how did we do with? Yep, so wrong, you've got your Y hand shape and you're just hitting it there at your chin. Yep, wrong. There you go. Yep, put your index finger down. Yep, there you go. Yep, wrong. Yep, wrong.
Hey, Adeline.
Uh-oh. Something's happened. Okay, so what's wrong with you? And then, all right, do you need a doctor? So there you would spell your do instead of doing the sign do because you're asking a question. So it's do. Is everything okay?
Yeah, she's going for the strawberries.
Oh. So do you need, we said need has two, like you go 1, 2 instead of must. So yes, so need a doctor. So we did doctor. So yes, you're just putting your hand out. Yep, doctor. Or, and I think we did or before. And all you're doing is, yeah, you can either do this way or you can do it with an O over and over. Either one. Either or is correct. Or to go to the hospital. So you can do your to or you don't have to. You can just go to go to the hospital. And we went over hospital is an H and an H. It's like your letter H goes down and it's forming a cross on your bicep to the hospital. Do you know sign language? So there again, instead of doing your do, you want to spell it. Yep, do you. Do you remember how to do know, like K-N-O-W? No. Okay. No. So you're just tapping your forehead. I know. No. And then we went over sign language tonight. So you got your sign, and you want to pull your hands back towards you. So Summer, instead of going out away from you, you want to pull your hands. Yep, there you go. There you go. Now you got it going on. So you can do just sign, or you do sign with L's. And your L's are just going like this. That's the sign for language. Or I was telling Amber that I'll do sign language, and I'll just pull my L's out, kind of like you're making a bow. Just sign and then L's. So you don't have to flick them. You don't have to tap them if you don't want to. But either way is correct. If I were saying language, though, I would do the dun 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 with them. All right, and then please sign slow for me. So we've got please. We just went over as please. We didn't just go over. We went over sorry. That's right. So please sign. We got sign slow. This is slow no matter what way of slow. There you go. Yep, slow. For me, I don't know that we've done for as far as FOR for me. So you can just do please sign slow. And that for me is kind of understood. So you don't necessarily have to sign it, but yes, and you just do me. Yes, please sign slow for me. Yep, exactly. I don't remember you. So you do me, or you can do your I, just depends which way you want to go with that. I, and then remember we just did tonight was putting your thumb up near, it's like the letter A, and you're putting it here at your forehead, and then you're putting it down on your thumb. So remember you, and I just left out the don't. I just skipped right to remember. Because see how I would do it is remember you don't. Is what I would do. So you can do don't, or you can do not. Either one just depends on which one you feel. I feel better doing it this way. I don't, but you can do not. Either one. So I don't remember you. All right. And then please stop eating so slowly. So please stop. We just did stop tonight, but I think we've gone over that one before. Stop eating. So you can do SO if you want. So, and then slowly is seeing this. So you can see where this can be a bad thing because you're not doing anything different. So the person is missing that LY. They're just seeing slow. But they're not seeing that the word is slowly. So when they go to write something to you, they're going to say slow, and you're going to go, that should say slowly instead. But they never learned that if they're strictly using just sign language. All right, so we'll just do that one faster. Please stop eating so slowly. So please stop eating. So if you want to put slow in there, and then slowly. Yep, good. Maybe you need to go to the bathroom because you drank too much water. I think I took out the tea and soda because I had put water, tea, and soda in there. But I think I took it out of y'all's. So maybe, we did the sign for maybe tonight. Maybe you need to go to the bathroom because you drank, so I don't know if we went over drank or not, but it's just the universal sign for drink. You drank, and I don't think we did much. Nope. So, but I remember us talking about that last week. You drank too much water. So, and like I said, I do have on mine water, soda. No, that's not the sign for soda. That's the sign for tea. Like iced tea, a cup of hot tea. Yeah, you're just, you're like, this is your little spoon and you're being all fancy and you're stirring it around in your cup. So yeah, tea. And soda, I've always liked soda. Soda, you take that 25 and you put the middle finger into the little hole and then you pull it out and pop it. It's a soda. It's a soda pop. Of course, you don't want to smack it, but just, but kids will. They'll, that's cool. I want that soda, But anyways, all right. So the doctor can help you feel better. All right. So you don't have to spell the, but you could always spell it, or you could do the sign the. So the doctor can help you feel better. So do y'all remember we went over can and able? Yep. You got it, Amber. Yep. Can help you. Do y'all remember how to do help you? Yep. Can help you, or can help you. Either one. Yep. Help you. Do you remember how to do feel? No. Okay. So you got your 25. And then you're just feeling right here. Can help you feel. And I don't know that we did the sign for better. I don't think so. There's one that you can practice spelling, better. Or better is you put your hand at your chin and you go up like you're better. Better, you feel better, you're better, better, and best. And there's even another one, can help you feel better. So you're just taking everything, feel, and you're feeling all the illness, everything that you were feeling before is gone. So it's like, it's kind of hard to show, but you're simply taking your thumb and rubbing it over all your fingers, but you're going this way with it. So it's all gone. Yeah, so it's here to here, but your hands are up. Your palms are facing up. It's like it's almost like it's evaporated, it's dissolved, it's resolved. All of those signs is that for it's all gone. You can do it that way. It's all gone. I mean, there's just that's one of those really cool signs. But anyways, but feel better or feel better. And you can just spell it. Yeah, better or better. Either way, you can spell it or go with the sign. Always ask this is weird. Always ask what's up when she looks sad. So we went over always. Do you remember always? Yep, always. Ask. So we went over ask tonight, and we said it's ask. And then we just went over what's up when she. Now you want to do looks, but it's not the same, because this is like you're looking at something, whereas here we're talking about how someone appears. Okay, so there you would say looks, and there you're showing. This is also the sign for face, but it's also the sign for someone looks a certain way. Or you can do seems. Like with that, you've got your hand cupped and seems. I feel like I'm throwing a whole lot of stuff at you. So when she looks, and then do you remember the sign for sad? That one we went over a couple weeks ago. All right, so you got your hands and you go sad. And it could be that we have not gone over that one, but I feel like we have, sad. But it could be that we have not put it on like one of the actual pictures. We might not have put it on the paper yet. So I might have that on my list over there. All right, so let's go over that one again. Always ask what's up when she looks sad. So always ask what's up when she, and you can do girl, like if you haven't already talked about the person, you can do girl over there. When she, and if you can't remember the looks, you can always spell it. Yeah, when she looks, sad. Just sad. Let's see, you didn't pay attention when you ate breakfast. Oh, you know what? I changed this one on y'all's paper. What does your paper say? Because I don't think I put all that on mine. I don't think I left it all on there, because I had you didn't pay attention when you ate breakfast because you have eggs and bacon grease on your shirt and pants. And I'm like, I know I changed that.
That's what I have.
It is what you have?
Yeah, that's what I have.
I wonder if I changed that and then I didn't save it. Okay, because we didn't go over bacon. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so I must have forgotten. Anyways, not surprised. So you didn't pay attention. So you didn't pay attention when you ate breakfast. When you ate breakfast, or you're going to do 8. And see, this is where that whole sign that I was telling you is kind of weird. If you say that you ate breakfast, then are you going to do 8 and 8 again and do morning with it? You know what I mean? That's where it's like, it's kind of strange. But you might just do when you eat and then just do morning right along with it. And they're going to understand that's eat and breakfast together. That's kind of strange to me. I would do my eat breakfast. That's what I would do. So eat breakfast, when you ate breakfast, because you have, okay, so you got because you have eggs and bacon. All right, so you can spell eggs, or you can do the sign for eggs. So it's almost like name, but you're cracking it. Eggs. That's one of those cute little signs for eggs. Yep, it's just eggs. Eggs. And then you can spell bacon, or you can do bacon. Instead of doing the name for the eggs, you're touching the fingers and you're wiggling them. Kind of like the bacon, you know how it gets kind of wavy when you cook it? So bacon. The only reason I put that one in there is there was a young man in my class that wanted to sign for bacon, so I put it in there. But I don't think I left that one on. I did leave it on the list there, I think. Yep, you probably do have bacon on there, but it's not on your written out list. Interesting. Crazy lady. Bacon. Bacon. But I do, like I said, I do believe bacon, if you look at your sign language sheets, it is up there in the top right corner of the first page. So bacon, grease, you just would spell it. Grease. Mm-hmm. You can do, I'm real careful to do that because I'm trying to remember and this is going to sound bad, but you've got the sign for blood, and then you've got like grease strippings, and I think it's like that. But that one, I can't really remember if that's right, because you've got meat and then gravy. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like that. Anyways, okay, on your shirt and pants. I can't believe I left this sentence on there. So on, do you remember how to do your? Yep, on your, and you can just do shirt, or you can spell shirt, if you can't, because like I said, that's not one that we've gone over. So shirt, and pants is how I learned it, was you take your letter P's and you hit it like pants. You hit it down at where your pants are, pants. So, or you can, there again, you can always just spell it, P-A-N-T-S, and you can just do that. On your pants. All right, so you all want to go back over that whole one? Or do you want me to skip to the next one? Or do we want to stop because it's almost 8 o'clock, or am I wrong? Oh, it is 8:04. See, the clock I've got in here, I did fix it to where it says 8 now, but the minutes are wrong on it. Anyways. All right. So, so I guess we'll stop there. And if you guys want, next week we can pick up and review those, because there are a bunch of them there. But, if you go over the words and then look at the past week ones, you should be able to find them. And there are some, of course, that we didn't learn the signs for, so you just would spell it. Like I've got mushrooms on there. And let's see. I'm trying to just, oh, like 911. Yeah, I mean, that's just 911. Just trying to see. Oh, and then like confused is one of the last ones. So there, you're just going to spell that. See, and I feel like I took those off of, I just must not have sent out the correct one that I updated. But it's all good. It's all good. So, all right. So we will meet one more time then next week, and we'll go over some other words. And if y'all have words that you want to ask, and you want me just to tell you what they are, we can definitely do that. And I need to try and get out a list with the signs of the words that we've talked about, but we didn't officially have on one of the lists. I do have a running list of that, so I need to get that done, and make a new list because I haven't done a week 8.
Is there a sign for make?
Make, yeah. I think, did we go over that one? Make and make.
We might have, but I couldn't find it in my book earlier when I was looking through, so I just wanted to check and make sure.
Yeah. So make, so the left hand stays still. They're both S's, and the right one just goes around. It's like it hits one and then you turn it. Yeah. Because then I think, did we go over, I think we went over coffee. Summer, I see your shirt that says coffee. I need my coffee. Yep. And so you're just going around in a circle for coffee, like you're grinding up the beans, whereas make. Yeah. I feel like we've done that one before, but I need to go back and make sure that we have done that one. So I'm going to write that one down up here.
Okay.
I feel like we have, but.
And is tell the same as speak?
Oh, like tell and speak? Yep. You can do tell, like tell and say, and speak. It just depends on if you want to be more specific, like tell, say, speak.
Right.
So like tell, it's almost like you're flicking something off of your chin. Tell, say it, and then speak.
Okay.
But if you just remember one, it kind of is synonymous with all of them.
Okay.
All of them, any of them would really be okay. It just depends on, if you want to make sure that you're saying the right one, But yeah.
Okay.
All righty. Very good. Got anything else? Any other questions? No? All right. All righty. Well, then we will meet one more time next week. And like I said, if you've got questions, just write them down and let me know.
Okay.
All right. You guys have a great week. Love you guys. Be careful out there with all this crazy water on the road and all that.
Yeah.
Give me a boat.
Right. Exactly. You need a boat.
Yes.
There you go. All right. I'll see you guys next week.